Now, today's presentation is the second in a series of 5. I only anticipate today's webinar to last about 20 minutes, so we're really hoping to be considerate of your time. Based on feedback from educators like yourselves, again, we are looking to share some of the best practices of what others are doing across the country to try and improve student outcomes by really trying to take full advantage of the technology that is available. So today we're focusing specifically on saving time in today's nursing classroom using Navigate 2. Now, first and foremost, what we're going to do is a little different than normal webinars today. We're going to try to avoid letting you fall into PowerPoint coma. We're going to actually look at jumping into the actual tool and start poking around a little bit and showing you some of the high-level features and really showing you how we feel instructors like yourselves can take full advantage of the platform and its robust functionality and features to make sure that your students are getting the most out of it and really helping you save time in the classroom when you have that precious brick-and-mortar classroom time where students are literally sitting in front of you for that block of time and finding ways to use digital technology to expose them to course material and curriculum when they're not in that brick-and-mortar classroom environment, and how you as an instructor can take advantage of that functionality. So one of the first things, and in just a second here, I'm going to pull up an actual instance of the course, or I should say of a course, and today we're going to be looking at evidence-based practice for nurses, nursing demonstration course. So this has some dummy data, so to speak, in it that will be visible to you as we're moving through a number of different things and as I walk through some of the high-level features of the tool. First and foremost, I would just like to speak about the advent of the non-traditional student, which is what we're seeing more and more in today's classroom. Part of the problem, obviously, that we face in our ever-increasing busy and hectic lives is finding enough time in the day to make sure that we can further our educations and we can take those steps to maybe learn a little more with continuing education, or maybe looking forward to an advanced degree. What we found is that based on the time constraints that a number of students are dealing with, making information and curriculum available to them as easily as possible, regardless of geographic location or time, is really invaluable. So we're constantly connected in this day and age as individuals via smartphones and tablets and other technology, and we found that our students respond to a various levels of learning tools. So we've included things like digital ebooks as well as videos and animations in some of our titles. We've also found that what we've experienced specifically for the instructor is that if they have the ability to add material of a custom nature to the course, that also makes the course a little more vivid and a little more lively to the student, and therefore engages that learner. Now, first and foremost, what I'm going to do is just hop into one of our chapter placards here, and I think I'll choose Chapter 3, and I'm going to go to this Add an Activity option. We've included, by default, in the course, preloaded assessments. So in each Navigate 2 platform, you'll have access to a number of different assessments. So there are chapter quizzes, midterms, final exams, as well as ebook chapter quizzes that are available to your student. The majority of these, the beautiful part is that it's defined by the instructor when, how, and where they're assigned to the student, meaning you can open that up for an open-ended period of time, or you can restrict access to that material based on any of a number of different predefined criteria. And if I simply just select Add here, I'm going to just go through and add a quiz. I'm going to add a Chapter 3 quiz. It just requires a name. And as I slide down here, this is the content that's available to me, the preloaded content. I'm selecting that assessment. I'm able to provide a due date for this particular assessment, which allows you as an instructor to define, for instance, when that material is obviously due. Now, I'm just going to simply make that a 1500 hours or 3 p.m. And here I can restrict access. I basically create a window of opportunity for my students to determine when they'll have access to this particular assessment. So I'm going to set this assessment for instance, it'll open up at 8 a.m. on the 23rd of February, and it'll close, on the 25th of February at that 1500 hour mark. What this will do is it allows you, as an instructor, to define when and where your students have access to it. You can choose to not restrict access, and then those individual items are available at any point in time for your students. You also have the ability to define remediation, so you have the ability to identify when and where your students will have access to those materials, including the responses and answers to the questions in a particular assessment or quiz. And just like that, just as easy as that, we've added a chapter quiz to our assessment. Now, we've also identified the need for a number of different cognitive analytics that will be helpful to you as an instructor. The beauty of being able to add these quizzes and these assessments when and where you want is that, again, you can free up that precious brick-and-mortar classroom time and have your students available when you want them in the classroom, focusing on the things that you want to make sure they're exposed to. By giving assessments online, they have access to those from the comfort of their home, and obviously to integrate into their hectic schedules, saving you, again, time in the classroom to focus on material that you obviously feel is important and pertinent. Excuse me. Now, in addition to that grade analysis, I'm just going to hop back in here. Oh, I unfortunately hit a button there. No big deal. This will actually work pretty well. I'll actually walk you through the assessment and give you a look at what your students see when they take an assessment. So basically, this is the assessment engine. It's available to them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, assuming that you've made that particular assessment available to your students. But once they actually go through, they finished answering the questions, they submit it, and again, in the effort to save time for you, that's automatically graded. So assuming there are no subjective questions included in the assessment, which would require your actual input and review, multiple choice, fill in the blank questions that are obviously very easily graded via an automated process, grade this actual assessment, place the grade in the gradebook for you, making it available to you and your student to know how they've performed against those given assessments. One of the things that we really wanted to make sure we included in our Navigate 2 product is mobile-ready course materials. In this day and age, the ability to access the components of a particular course wherever you might have a spare moment, perhaps on the train ride in, maybe while you're waiting to pick someone up or pick a child up from a sport or athletic practice, wherever those students can integrate that kind of learning and take advantage of those spare moments to really focus and get some information. We've incorporated our digital ebook, which is accessible via smartphones as well as tablets, with the addition of the Navigate e-reader. With that e-reader, your students are able to peruse that textbook at their leisure, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, saving you time in the classroom. You can assign chapter reading in a flip the classroom type of concept, where you could assign perhaps reading a given chapter from the ebook prior to a brick and mortar classroom time. Maybe you could also add to that taking one of the available assessments, either the ebook chapter quiz or assigning an actual chapter quiz for that given time period, so that once your students, again, are in that brick and mortar classroom time, you're able to focus your energies on educating them and not having to sit quietly while people take assessments. We do understand that there are some concerns with taking online assessments, and one of the things that we really wanted to identify is how instructors can have access to this material and still feel comfortable with what the student is doing. At the end of the day, if a student really wants to cheat, they're going to be able to figure out a way to cheat. We feel that we've done a very good job to really kind of identify how they're cheating, if possible, and removing those opportunities as best as we can. So there is some anxiety for some students with taking online testing, and other than really the cheating component and that anxiety piece, the rest of it is pretty much all on the positive side. Pros that can be identified, obviously freeing up precious classroom time, allowing students to remediate on their own time, and really getting that real, that actionable, immediate return on understanding and demonstrating comprehension of the material, striking while the iron is hot, so to speak. So the students have access to that material via their mobile-ready devices, so they can access the material really whenever they want. That constant access to the curriculum any time of day, 24 days a week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere really they have connectivity via a mobile device. All of the curriculum is available via that mobile device, and part of the reason for that is we've incorporated what we refer to as a responsive design. So if I minimize my screen here a little bit, you'll notice that a couple of things change, namely the folder tabs we saw earlier change into these banners. Anyone who's tried to visit a website on their smartphone that wasn't designed with responsive design can attest to how difficult it can be to have to maneuver around. We took that into consideration when trying to make sure that we developed a curriculum that would help instructors by saving time in their classrooms and making sure that their students would have access to material any time of day, any location. One of the other things that we really found would be very helpful for most instructors would be the addition of adding videos. So in this day and age, many people consider themselves a visual learner. They learn from watching. Flashcards are helpful, which are typically included in all of our Navigate 2 titles, as well as the addition of actual videos. Instructors can add videos, and I've taken the liberty of adding a specific video here to this nursing course. This is a video that I predefined and I've actually decided I really enjoy and very easily embedded into our course. This is basically referring to the guidelines to transitioning from nursing to nursing informatics role. Now, as this video is playing, again, what you've done is that you've afforded your students the opportunity to have access to curriculum outside of the classroom. They're sitting in the comfort of their living room or sitting at the kitchen table perhaps after everybody's asleep, taking a couple of hours, watching a video that you've assigned them, and then at the next classroom session perhaps you assign a short paragraph or something to confirm that they've watched it, but they know at a bare minimum you're going to be speaking about this in the next classroom period, and they've had the opportunity to review that at their own leisure. And make sure that they're prepared for that session. One of the really, really great add-ons that we have with our new Navigate 2 platform is the ability to utilize YouTube on the fly. Really what we've allowed for is the ability of instructors like yourselves to search YouTube very easily. If I go in here to add an activity, I scroll down and I select page for a resource, and a resource meaning something that you want to share with your students. I can assign a label, and I'll just add the word video, and for instance we can search for maybe something with regard to asthma, and I want to find an animation to share with my students about asthma. Any red asterisk item that you see is a required element. And as I scroll down, instructors, here you have the ability with this little celluloid icon here. It looks like a piece of film. It says Insert Moodle Media when you hover over it. This gives you access to the tool that allows you to literally search within YouTube based on relevant terms. So for instance, I'm looking for something specific with asthma animation. And as I come in here and I go ahead and click search, it's going to pull up anything on YouTube that contains those relevant terms. As I scroll down, you'll see that what's literally happening is, because obviously YouTube is so populated with so much information, it's going to continue to feed that information in. You as the instructor have the ability to review that information before you decide to include it in your course. Say I select this one here, I select this file, I have the ability to preview it before I insert it, allowing me to actually sit as an instructor, review the material, decide that it really meets my needs, and then with one click, insert, and I scroll down and save and return to course. Just like that, I've been able to search YouTube and add a video to my course yet again, allowing me to free up that classroom time. Students will be able to watch this video at their own leisure, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can see, just as easily as that, we've added that asthma animation video to the course. One of the great ways about the way that we've embedded these is that typically if you were to try and just provide a link to your students to go out to YouTube, they'd be subjected to all of the peripheral information that's available out on YouTube, and they can get pretty easily taken off task, and I refer to it as slipping down the rabbit hole, and end up watching things that really aren't part of their focus at that point in time. So we really like the idea of embedding these videos within the course, and again, making sure your students have access to them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And one last thing I would like to just share with you with regard to our ebook. You could assign ebook reading as well ahead of time in the classroom, and our ebook report allows you as an instructor to discern how your students are engaging the material. So in this particular instance, I'm just going to pull up the ebook report for this particular demonstration course. And once this ebook report comes out, this is going to provide you as an instructor with some really interesting analytics to be able to see how your students are engaging that particular chapter. And if I go ahead and I expose this to show the classroom engagement, I can see who the best performers are in my class. I can see here that Sophie Schwinn has achieved a grade of 90% on the ebook quiz, and she's reviewed a number of resources. And then I can see here that we have some people that maybe aren't performing as well grade-wise, but they're certainly putting the time in, having spent a great deal of time in the ebook. I can now focus my energy on that individual and understanding maybe where something in the curriculum isn't resonating with them. Invaluable information for you as an instructor to be able to assign this ahead of classroom time and then be able to extrapolate out from the ebook report how the students are engaging, and then pivot your course material, or certainly your approach with particular students. So we do feel that that's a really valuable tool that's available to you as an instructor. Now, what I'd like to do now is just kind of hop back into our PowerPoint and walk you through a couple more quick slides to give you some exposure, and then what we'll do is we'll unmute the phones and give everybody the opportunity to ask any questions that they may have at this point in time. Now again, we're looking to show you how you can save some time with Navigate 2. Certainly hope that the session we just walked through those basic pieces and that functionality has demonstrated to you how you can flip the classroom and really take full advantage of that digital technology and its mobile-ready course material. Currently, we have a number of Navigate 2 products that are available for the nursing titles. At this point in time, we have the Evidence-Based Practice for Nurses title we just reviewed, as well as Pharmacology for Nurses and Gerontological Nursing. Available this spring, we'll have Navigate 2 additional titles available for the following key nursing titles: Community Health Nursing, Health Policy and Politics, as well as Chronic Illness, Policy and Politics, and Professional Nursing Concepts. Throughout 2015, these titles will become available via the Navigate 2 product. If you are interested in getting more information with regard to Navigate 2, you can sign up for a demo course at jblnavigate.com/2 or request a personalized demo at jblnursing.com/demo. If you are interested in a personalized demo or a product demo, please feel free to reach out to your account specialist, and what they can do is communicate that to us education technology consultants, and we'll look at scheduling something at your convenience to really walk through the tool. The third in our five webinar series will be next Tuesday, and that is saving time outside the classroom. We'll be looking to help instructors show how the gradebook will allow them to really take full advantage of the digital technology and save time outside of the classroom, when obviously you have your precious time that you're trying to take as much advantage of as possible. Also increasing student accountability, improving outcomes, which will round out the webinar series. So please go ahead and register today. That link is available to you. At this point in time, I would like to thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your time. I hope this was helpful. We did try to keep things pretty short, and it did take a little bit of a different approach. Instead of going through webinar slides showing you the actual tool, we would like to, at this time, kind of open the floor to any questions that anyone might have about the technology that they saw here today, and anything that we might be able to help them out with, or any questions that they may have. Anyone have any questions at this time? We'll give everyone a couple of minutes if anyone wants to raise their hand or send a question in via chat. We'll just give it a couple more seconds. That being said, it looks like maybe everyone's had their questions answered. I hope the information again has been helpful, and we do ask that you please let us know, or if there are anything we can do in the future to help you out. Schedule a product webinar and we can walk you through those components and really give you an in-depth review of the functionality and features of the tool. So if there are no other questions at this time, I'm going to go ahead and disable the call. And again, we do look forward to seeing you next week and in the future as we round out this series on the nursing titles available from Jones and Bartlett Learning. Thank you again, and please enjoy the rest of your day, and please be safe.